This is our base. This is called Notre Dame, and we'll just walk all the gaps through here. Hence, you will see we're only seeing 9 players on the field, as we don't show the corners in our run defense slides. The corners will always have secondary containment, but their first responsibility is going to be playing the pass. So, working from left to right, you see the tight end here on the right hand side of this drawing. This means this will be the strong side. So Ed is going to take C gap responsibility. Will take B gap responsibility. Norm will have the weak side A gap. Mac has the strong side A gap. Tommy has the strong side B gap, and X is going to have the strong side C gap. With our tight end on this side, this gives us a B gap, and the Sam backer will have responsibility for outside containment. Our Jake sitting up here will have flow and support, obviously, and Fred on this backside will have weak side flow and support. Linebackers on the inside, we always say that you have gap to flow responsibility, meaning Will would first be responsible for this weak side B gap. However, if play was flowing to the right of this play, he would then start to flow, but always maintaining his cutback responsibilities. Same as Mac and Sam. So that is our base, and that's called Notre Dame. First blitz and stunt you see here is this one works very well. This strong side tackle, he will be our stud D tackle. This player on a Michigan blitz will switch gaps with the Mac. He will cut across the face of the offensive guard, and then the Mac backer will fire through the B gap. This XN here will have to occupy this tackle, which will enable the Mac backer to flow through, hopefully untouched. Or if he is blocked, that's going to leave the tackle or the X unblocked. The next blitz / stunt you're going to see is the Wisconsin blitz. And what's happening here is just like the Michigan blitz on the strong side, the Norm and the Will switch gaps. Norm is going to slash to the B gap, while the will slash to the A gap. Same philosophy. We're hoping this guard will follow Norm and open up a gap for the Will. Stanford is the next blitz. Again, S meaning Sam backer. In his case, the Tommy and the X will both take a gap to the outside, which should pull the hips around of this tackle and should enable this Sam to slash into this B gap. It'll be key here that Mac occupies this guard, so Sam has a free shot in the backfield. At this point, Jake has to be very aware as our D gap containment, which has always been Sam, is now the X. So Jake has to be aware of any outside plays. We will lose one support player with this blitz. Now we get into the D offensive line stunts. The Texas, obviously we have Tommy and X. Tommy cuts to the C gap. X is going to jump down into the B, and Sam then has to assume the B gap. Nebraska, same type of action going on. Will has to take the C gap here, as Ed's going to jump down the 2 gaps in the weak side A, and Norm will stunt into the B. So what would occur here is Norm would go first, and then Ed would follow around. Tennessee, we have an inside stunt. Tommy, who always has this B gap, is going to flow over to the weak side A gap, and Norm will then take strong side A, which means the Mac backer has to be responsible now for that strong side B gap. And again, we saw earlier, North Carolina, again, NO, nobody is blitzing. With what occurs here is we're just they're gonna switch gaps with everybody except Tommy. Tommy's gonna always stay in the strong side B gap, no matter if it's Notre Dame or North Carolina. However, the Will and Ed, the Mac and the Norm, and the Sam and the X are gonna sort of swap gaps.